Yeah, so my name is Mark DeVos, and I currently serve at the Village Church as the pastor, married to Noelle, and yeah, it's a good life. We just got married about a year ago, not even, and we just bought a house and fixing it up, and so that's just a little bit about me. I was working as a hospital chaplain at the St. Catherine's General here, so maybe 10-minute drive away from the church that I'm currently pastoring. And we had all kinds of people come in, young, old, whatever. You'd spend a day with them. Maybe they're in critical condition and they get better and you don't see them again. Or you could spend a month with them. And what I found though is at the end when they got discharged, you couldn't spend any more time with them. That was it. Like actually not allowed to. And I got to talk about some of life's most important things with these people. And it was really a special opportunity that I had to engage with people from all different faiths or no faith at all. But that was it. They got discharged. That was it. And I had this, I've always had this heart, like how do we communicate Jesus' love to our world? And I had this wonderful opportunity to do it, but I couldn't walk with people through their growth in their faith. And so I knew I had to pastor. And then I started pastoring this church up north. It's a really, really tiny church, like 6 elderly women. That was it. And the community, I mean, it was kind of cottage country, kind of the Tobermory area of Ontario. And so I had all this time to just be in the community. And what I found is that people who are outside the church were seeking and had questions about God. And I could see God at work in the community. I actually enjoyed spending my time more with the people not in the church than the people in the church. I thought, oh no, what do I do? Because I sense I'm called to be a pastor and walk with people through the various stages of life. And now I actually want to spend time more in the community than inside the 4 walls of the church, so to speak. And so I got connected with John Bowers from the Church Planting Institute and shared my heart. And I said, but I can't plant a church like that. He said, you should do church planting. I'm like, I can't do that. No way. Like that's like a suicide wish. Because I just heard about like all the mental health issues that come along with it, all the spiritual warfare stuff. I heard about just how you basically need to be built like an ox, like you could be a superhuman person. If you'd have to be a superhuman person to be able to do church planting. And then he told me about this young church called the Village. It was kind of still a church plant, but the first pastor had moved on to other things. And long story short, I'm now the pastor at the Village Church, a 12-year-old church plant, and I love it. That's it. That's my story. Part of the discernment process. What? You'll pay me for this? I'm in. No, like, honestly, a lot of prayer went into the job interview, and I just had such a sense like this is what I need to do. I need to be serving here. And they had the same sense from the job interviews. I guess we had a few. And yeah, what went into it, I mean, I guess like just this clear sense of like the way churches currently are, kind of the established church, does not fit the sociology of our culture. And so we need to figure out ways of being God's people that connect with our culture. And if that's what it takes to do that, is to plant a church, which I do think it does, because it's easier to start fresh DNA than change old DNA, then I want to be in on this church planting thing. So I think there's kind of like when you start at a new church, there's like that honeymoon phase where, you're like the savior. Who needs Jesus? Here comes Mark DeVos. And then there's a bit of a disillusionment, like, oh wow, this guy's only human, and he can't fix all our problems. And so just figuring out, okay, what does it mean? Because I'm still new at this whole pastor thing, and I'm jumping into a church plant, right? So coming to terms like with in time, okay, what does it look like for Mark DeVos to pastor these people, right? It's going to look very different than what it looks like for a John Bowers to pastor his people, right? Or a Martin Spoolster to pastor his people, or a Beth Fellinger to pastor her people. So I think just in time, okay, what are my gifts? How do these people, like given their rhythms of life in this place called Thorold, how do they adopt the way of Jesus? What does it look like forming them gradually in that process? So for example, missional communities, big deal. Everyone's into missional communities. Church planting, that's what they are. They're, a missional community. So Village Church, we need to be a church of missional communities, but not recognizing kind of where these people are now, and discerning God's will for the next step, rather than, okay, Mark has this vision and plan for your discipleship, and I'm going to take you there, saying, okay, you know what, where's the Spirit active in this community? How can we partner along with what is already happening in you and around you? And so that's been a learning process for me, because I'm a doer. I just want to do it. I just want to motivate people and lead the charge, and I can't. And so learning how to like depend on God for each step, that's been a real learning piece, I guess.